G'day everyone, Prep Aussie here. I hope you're all well in whatever part of the world you're watching this video. Today is Monday, the 14th of January 2019, and the time here is 13:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time. Sorry for the late video folks, but I've been busy out in the garden and stuff, so that took over. Had to do a shit of a job, it was horrible. Look, two things. One, Melbourne meeting. If the Melbourne meeting is still going ahead, can everyone let me know? And if I'm going, I still haven't got a registered car yet, so I'm still trying to sort that out. Hopefully by the end of this week, I will have a car. If I get that sorted out, then I will be easier going away, if you know what I mean. It'll be a weight off my mind, because I want to get it set up before I go, if you know what I mean. So let me know about that. Secondly, I'm not going to talk too much today. I'm going to read through comments, because there's some very important comments that came through from people about the militia. A lot of people have got this idea that, you know, the movies show you the guys with the guns and running bang, 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 bang. Yeah, that's kind of cannon fodder dickhead shit. And if you want to do that, that's fine, but there's no way you're going to win a war by doing that. And you'd have, if you're going to join an Aussie militia, then you're going to have to be prepared to it's got to be you've got to have a 10-year plan type of thing, if you know what I mean. It won't be over in 5 minutes. It won't be over in 1 year. I can guarantee you that. So it's a long haul jobby type of thing, and you're going to have to learn how to live in the bush, eat from the bush, get water from the bush, everything. So you're basically going to have the life you have now and the life post an invasion. I hope you understand that, because there's a huge difference to the two parallels of living. If you decided that you were going to be part of the militia, then you need to understand that that would mean that your old life finished, and that you would have to start a whole another existence that you probably never even imagined living in your whole life. You know, toilet paper, forget it. You know, fresh fruit and vegetables, forget it. You might get them occasionally. And you would have to learn how to fight in guerrilla tactics. It's that simple, folks. Because you ain't going to go running. You can if you want, but I won't be there. You can run straight into the cannons if you want. And that's why I want to talk about some of the comments. Sorry, I've written something down here. You know, one other thing to remember here. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, or an older guy, 70, 64. I've had guys saying they'd love to do something, but they're too old. You're not. Who's more important? The guy firing the gun, or the guy that gave him the ammo and the gun? Do you get my point here? There's a role that everybody has to play. I would probably say the most important bloke in the whole process is the guy who gets the fuel, the food, the guns and everyone to the guy who has to use it. A good logistics officer is, you know, more important than anybody. So just think about that. A good nurse, man or woman, doesn't have to be, you know, we're living in the 2018s, 19s now, guys. There's a role for everyone, age regardless. You know, do I want a 25-year-old guy sitting on a radio? No. You know, that would be a job for an elderly person who has got some brains. No offence to the young guys there, but you know, I hope you see my point. You can even be disabled and want to join the militia. No worries at all. Now, one thing that did come up Well, there's two things as regards to this militia. If you own an Apple iPhone and any Chinese phone, you need to get rid of it now. And I mean now, because both of them are trackable, and there's a high probability that the Chinese, regardless of what phone it is you've got, can actually listen. It's been proven, folks. Look, there's countless people on YouTube that have actually proven this. It's going the way that the Chinese won't be able to sell any of their stuff in Australia or the US, their communication stuff. You need to ditch them. I've got an Oppo and I'm getting rid of it for that reason. Not that I don't like the Chinese or anything, it's just that I don't want my phone to be a tracking device, and they all are apparently. So you also need to get on Proton Mail if you want to talk to me. And look, I know it got hacked. Is there anything that's not hackable, guys? Tell me, because the US government got hacked. I would like to think that they got hacked and they made it stronger and better. That's the way you have to look at this. Not, oh my God, they got hacked. Well, as far as I know, Google got hacked, Facebook got hacked, every single credit card thing got hacked. You know, there's nothing that's unhackable. So stick with the course. You want to speak to me, get on Proton Mail, 1-to-1. I see a lot of guys doing it, and that's great. It helps me out a lot. Get a VPN as well, a good VPN. There's good ones and there's bad ones. I'll let you decide which one you get. I wouldn't get Virtual Shield or anything that's advertised, put it that way. Okay, so do your research. I got one and I'm very happy with it. I haven't had any problems. But I will tell you, I'm talking to a couple of guys today on the phone. They've given me their numbers and stuff. Look, if you guys haven't realised, I'm pretty busy. And although I love to talk to people, like I am now, I can't talk to everybody. It's not possible. It's just not going to happen. So I'd probably prefer that you send me a lengthy email explaining what you want to say, unless you've got something. And in that email, if you think you've got something extraordinary to say, then I will read it and I will get in touch with you, okay? Please just don't drop me a line saying, ring me, because it's very hard for me to do that. I don't know if you understand that. The last thing before I show you the comments. I've also realised that I've been, I've said to you guys before about Patreon and money, etc. I don't have access to any way of anybody to give me funds to set up a ham radio or anything like that. And that's what I need to start doing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a post office box. And you guys can send, if you want to send cash donations, that's great. I won't be able to cash. Don't send me a check, because I won't be able to cash it. It's not going to happen. I'll just have to send it back to you. So somebody suggested this a while ago. Well, a lot of people suggested it, and I thought, cash donations. But I can't set up a militia, or we can't set up a militia unless we do this properly. And that will mean having access to funds. Big call on my part and a big call on your part. I understand if people get pissed off and they go, he just wants money. I don't give a shit about the money, to be honest with you. I haven't asked for any before, but starting a militia ain't going to be cheap. And tell you what I want to do with it more than anything is get a ham radio, because I've realised that this version of whatever we're doing now will soon end, and we need to communicate. And I would ask anybody who's in the militia, look into getting a ham radio, please. Okay, right, let's go to comments. Okay, here's some comments that I want to read. I'm just going to go through here. Oh, this one here. I watched your message on forming a militia, and I think it's a horrible idea. If you want the government to implement martial law and have all our rights removed, then go ahead and form your militia. But I won't be part of it. Well, I don't even really know what to say to that. Fine. Sit back and wait to get bent over. That's all I can tell you, because that's what's going to happen to you, which is what's happening to you right now. You're actually living in martial law now and you don't even realise it, love. Prep. I am from the United States. Absolutely salute you. I have said since my early 20s that it would take us losing everything in our lives before Americans en masse would stand up to fight against our government enslavers and their ilk, perhaps even including any invading forces in our nation. Fight on the streets across America with any kind of weapon we have or can craft into one. Yes, stand strong to fight our oppressors, not as black, brown or white individuals, but as united Americans. Couldn't agree more. And be fully willing to lose our lives in the fight to get back our God-given rights to be free. Couldn't agree more. With all that includes, the fact is, at this point, we already have a massive noose starting to lower around our necks. Couldn't agree more. Some of us are ready to die fighting against the victory of our oppressors. It seems I may have been wrong in my thinking from those days in my youth. The vast majority may never be ready to give their lives in the fight against such evil, and that is really true. But those of us who are ready in every way that can be, in preparation for that day that dawns, and the bugle of life itself calls us to stand and fight. If we go down, we will go down victorious, truly free. Fantastic. And our way to be embraced by perfect love. May our prayers unite across this earth that every single day more people will hear this mighty call to be ready. May more of us with every sunrise hear the Spirit of God whispering in our hearts and feel its movement in our souls. Well, Mr. AJ, customer, that is one of the best comments I've ever read on this site, on my channel, mate. Thank you very much. Now, having said that, I'm going to now go to a comment that if any of you ever send me a comment like this, I'm going to say exactly the same thing to you. Okay? Because this is fucking disgusting at best, and whoever this guy is just a knobhead. Sorry to say it, but he is. I'm going to read it now. Here's the comment. The West is 100% controlled by Jews. Research the Jewish question. They have always been our biggest misfortune. Now this guy's moniker is Adolf Hitler. Now this is my comment back to him just underneath that. Mate, what point are you trying to prove here with a name like yours? Fair dinkum. It really pisses me off when jokers like you come on my site and spruik your shit out. At what point did you think anyone was going to take you seriously with a name like Adolf Hitler? And then I went on a bit more. So it's okay that a bloke you are using as your moniker killed millions of men, women, and even worse, kids of all races because he didn't like them. I always wonder about blokes like you. What would you do if you were in a really bad accident and the first person to offer you help was a Jew, a Muslim, or the like? I would hope that you say no thanks and bleed out. Stay off my site until you either grow up or you become less ignorant, and I really mean this, mate. May the good Lord bless you, because, mate, you surely need his blessing. Prep. Listen, I've said this before. There's good and bad in everyone. There's some white people I wouldn't piss on if they were on fire, to be honest with you. Christian white people. Black people the same. Muslims the same. Jews. There's dickheads in every race. and breed of people and creed of people and religious types. But I can tell you this much. I know people from every single race, some good, some bad. But that doesn't mean I want to go out and kill, blow up, obliterate everyone just because of their religion. You got to remember, folks, their religion is shit. Anything, and I don't give a shit what religion it is, anything that has been touched by the hands of man is corrupted 100%. So why would I focus my energy, bad energy for a fact, maybe even good energy for another point, on some people's religion? Yeah, the Muslims are blowing shit up and everything else, but I've had my rant about that. What pisses me off the most about the Muslims, and they even tell me this because I've got Muslim mates, is the fact that they can't stand up and say shit because they will be ostracised. Now, the day is coming when that is going to happen, because if they want to stay in countries like this, they're going to have to. And they're going to have to exile people out of this country, and America, and the UK, because you might not believe this, but there is some really nice Muslim people. There's some nice Jewish people, nice Christian people, and they don't want to do anything except lead their lives and be left alone, like you and me. So just think about things, folks. Don't write comments like that, and please, will you all, if you, everybody who's writing me stuff about it's the Jewish problem, will you please just fuck off? I'm sick of it. There's no Jewish problem. There's no big Muslim problem. It's actually the governments. If you actually had a brain, used your head, you'd watch what they were doing. They're turning these people against us. Okay? Use your head. Rant over. Our government also lacks to forward information on what people are supposed to do or contact for different situations. Our government solution use police and military. Their hands are already full. It's too much workload for the numbers we have in them. Should be awareness and access to the info, especially when they go overboard with similar info for workplaces or mine sites. Do we even have bomb shelters in Australia or an emergency plan? Or is it one of those things where we're expected to wing it? I would probably say wing it. After the hype of North Korea and their ICBM threats, we haven't seen much change in the communities when it comes to awareness of what to do or where to go. Do we even have emergency broadcast channels? I haven't got a clue. I don't think we have. Or rally points for medical attention or assistance, or other options we can use to help whatever situation we are in at the time. Keep up your awareness. Good skills, mate. Info like that we should have free access to and be able to easily find, especially if or when people need to use the info. Better than sitting on your ass waiting for someone to fix a problem, where if you had info you could have contributed and fixed it yourself. I couldn't agree more. Okay, folks, I want to promote this site as well, Australian Survivalism. That's the moniker at the bottom there. Well said, Prep. Stealth tactics in guerrilla warfare, constantly moving, travelling light. If anyone wants to learn how to find food in the bush, come over to Australian Survivalism. We can teach you how to move and eat from the bush. Please do so, folks. You'll learn a lot. Okay, folks, this is the last one I'm going to do, and then I'm going to have a bit of a conversation about this. All good and well to say, let's get a militia going. But we all know that they wouldn't have taken our guns off us if they really wanted us to properly defend ourselves. They would never let us get a militia going. A 303 is no match for artillery or an Apache gunship. Our only hope is the ANZUS Treaty, or the fact we are part of the British Empire, or the fact we are now UN members. Get a militia going and they will probably charge you as a terrorist. A keyboard warrior in Canberra will put you in and win a brownie point. The place is full of drugs and fluoride. Most of them would get satisfaction out of their own genocide. I just want to concentrate on the first part. As I said, if you're in a militia, you ain't running into the Apache gunships and, etc., etc. You're a militia group. You light, you run, you fast track everything. Militia does not mean cannon fodder. Okay? Get that straight through your head now. We have a big country and they have to come and find you. Think about that. Light, mobile, speed, guerrilla tactics. That's it. Okay? Right, let's do the prayers. Okay, folks, verse of the day. That God was reconciling the world to himself in Christ, not counting people's sins against them, and he has committed to us the message of reconciliation. We are therefore Christ's ambassadors, as through God we're making his appeal through us. We implore you on Christ's behalf, be reconciled to God. Excellent. And as always, folks, we're going to finish on the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power and the glory, for ever and ever. Amen. All right, folks. Oops, sorry. I'm going to end it there. Just remember that if you plan on fighting for Australia, underneath the Southern Cross I stand, a sprig of wattle in my hand. Australia, you bloody beauty. Prep out.